to be honest with you, I'm going to say over. And that's basically just me speaking with my heart about being a Rex Ryan fan. I want something good to happen to Rex. I know last year was horrible, but 2 years in a row he did
something
have
better
team,
good
right,
happen.
Right.
Happen.
So I'm giving Rex Ryan at least 7, 8 games this season, either 7 or 500. That's just on Rex.
Does that save his job? How many wins
Yes, it does.
Rex need?
And that's
Hell no. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's not saving Rex's job.
No. Not in New York.
Yes.
No.
If he goes 8-8, his job is secure.
Listen, this pains me to
You
say.
had him at 7, though.
Right.
I said 7 or 8. I said 7 or 8.
I mean, if Rex wants to keep a job, it's going to have to be at 9 or 10. So I think this is going to be Rex's last season, and this pains me to say because George knows.
He's great for the media. I love him.
Great. No, and George knows how big of a Jet fan I am. But it gets back to what we were discussing yesterday. If you want to get good, you got to be really, really bad. And so I want the Jets to go under 6.5. I think they'll go under 6.5 because if they do that, they'll have an opportunity to have, a top 3, top 4, top 5 pick. So I think they're going under.
I think they go under. I think he starts the season with Sanchez. He's going to realize that's going to be a disaster. And then, because Sanchez is just not a good quarterback. He was a guy that their defense carried him. He was a guy that you said, hey, Mark, don't make mistakes. Let the defense play it out.
Yep.
Their defense is getting worse and worse. It's not as good as it once was. And I think he's not capable of carrying a team. If they're smart, they just go with Geno Smith as quickly as possible, and then they're going to have a terrible season if that's the case, because most rookie quarterbacks are going to have a bad season, because that's how you learn, basically, in this league.
Unlike last, but, last season. It's tough. Yeah, no,
most, most rookies have bad first seasons. You don't have that many that have good ones.
Season?
Yeah, I think he does. I think they're going to stay there, but I think if it starts not to go well, if they start off 0-2, then you can see a switch for Geno. I can totally understand
fans
that.
are going to clamor for him.
Seriously, I think at some point in time, especially in professional sports, you get to a position where you have to be humble. I think last season was that humbling period for the Jets. I really do. And I think Rex Ryan's like, look, let me stop the showcase. No more HBO Hard Knocks. No more none of this. No more back and forth with, Darrelle Revis. None of this happening. Let me go back to concentrating on football the way I was when I was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore. Let me lock in on football because I'm thinking he's been humbled by what's happened to him in New York.
But you can be humbled all you want. If you don't have the talent and they don't, it doesn't matter.
But sometimes, maybe it goes back to what we were saying yesterday. I believe in coaches being able to take certain things over the hump. They're not always the answer, but they can take teams over the hump.
Now when your quarterback stinks.
You know what he's done? He's presented me as a Jet fan with the worst-case scenario.
Right.
Over 6.5, but it's like 7 wins.
Yeah, right.
That's the worst place to be in the NFL.
Absolutely.
500. I'm saying it right now. Look, when they go 8-8 and Rex Ryan still keeps his job,
we'll give you a shout out.
That's right.
Speaking of being humbled,
I want to be on the radio
A lot of attention
shows.
on Geno Smith. Now, he signed with Jay-Z. There's going to be a lot of issues in New York, as we see with Sanchez. Do you believe in Geno Smith?
Do I believe in Geno Smith? God, I have no idea what to think about Geno Smith. I don't know. I don't know what kind of quarterback he's going to be in the NFL. I agree with you guys. Sanchez is going to get a crack here. It's his final shot to make it work in New York, and we'll see what happens there. And again, I said this yesterday, sometimes we're afraid to say we don't know, and I honestly don't know what to expect from Geno Smith.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's ready. The question is he ready for the moment? And the moment is going to come for him because I think we all can place bets on the fact that something's going to happen with Sanchez where they're going to have to make a decision to get Geno Smith in the game. Is he going to be ready for that moment in New York? That's the thing. I think, it's hard to go against. We saw Kaepernick do it last year. When this moment came, he was ready.
Right.
He could play. We don't know. We don't have a sample size big enough to know whether Geno Smith's going to be ready for that moment.
And we also saw some character questions around the draft. That waiting face that stuck in my head, and also with the agents. Sure. How is he going to take all that attention on every little move that he makes? It's going to be.
He's got talent. I don't think anyone can deny that.
Right.
But it's a matter of, we don't know how guys translate all the time. And I think there's a number of factors, especially at that position. The type of coaching he gets, how much time he gets to be groomed. I think there's so many factors.
Line.
Yeah, right. So many factors, what his weapons are, that I don't think we can all account for.
Well, we're sitting here saying we don't know, and the NFL clearly didn't know. He was projected as a first-round pick. He slipped. So I think a lot of people have questions about whether or not Geno Smith can translate to the NFL.